Yaharang Murder. South Korean League of Legends pro gamer Lee Yaharang was arrested in Hanoi after brutally murdering his 33-year-old girlfriend Park in hotel room 6012 just hours after her arrival on a purported business trip. Park, who worked at a trading firm and had postponed a May 31st job interview, landed at 1 p.m. only to be found dead with severe head injuries and strangulation marks when Lee exited alone at 1:19 p.m. and fled to the rooftop in a suicide attempt. He initially claimed she provoked him by refusing sex, but then switched to an accidental death during an argument defense, despite police uncovering evidence he'd hired Thai sex workers earlier this year. Local witnesses also described Lee stripping to his underwear by a lakeside and berating staff with erratic demands before his arrest. Prosecutors have charged him with premeditated murder, and the high-profile case, featured on SBS's I Want to Know That, has ignited a national debate on athlete conduct and mental health in esports. Donezo Manifesto. In his 17-page Dunzo Manifesto, March 26, 2016, Austin Link Shin walks through every CLG era and pulls no punches, describing teammates and internal breakdowns. He accuses the coaching staff of flipping shot-calling orders mid-scrim and names a jungler who's passive-aggressive pinging emptied lane waves before team fights. Link recalls a disastrous mid-split role swap, where he was thrust from mid to top with zero practice, that left him scrambling under turret every game. He details whispered side conversations in the prep room that eroded trust, and how two veterans ghosted a team retreat, triggering a frantic all-night phone chain. He also singles out substitute players whose lack of preparation cost critical matches, and a captain who bottled shot calling at Worlds 2017 by refusing to adapt drafts. Through it all, Link stresses his decision to walk away wasn't spite, but a bid to protect his passion. Signing off bluntly, I'm done. Remelia. In her 2016 tweets, Maria Remelia Crevelling accused Renegade's co-owner Chris Badawi of exploiting her gender affirmation surgery promise. She explained that Badawi guaranteed to fund her procedure in Thailand if she helped the team reach the LCS, and that he personally arranged and paid for the initial operation, only for it to be botched, leaving her with chronic pelvic pain and nerve damage. Remelia detailed how Badawi later threatened to dock her salary to recoup medical expenses, and pressured her to compete on stage despite her agony, even as she missed minimal scrims for emotional support. After her January 2016 announcement to leave, Badawi faced criticism for removing her from team lodging and arguing with her over financial disputes, actions that led Riot to ban him permanently for player welfare violations and competitive infractions. Tragically, Crevelling passed away in 2019, but her revelations remain a stark warning about the importance of ethical treatment in esports. Weed incident. In March 2022, Season 2 Worlds Champion Curtis Toys Lawai Kin was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in a Taiwanese prison after pleading guilty to 4 counts of second-degree drug trafficking and 2 counts of attempted trafficking. Arrested on September 15, 2021, police uncovered over 200 marijuana pods hidden in his home and a training facility, and forensic hair analysis confirmed frequent use. His November 2021 indictment cited purchases totaling nearly $20,000. Despite his defense's claim of ignorance regarding Taiwan's strict Narcotics Hazard Prevention Act, the Taichung District Court set bail at NT $1.5 million and ordered a drug rehabilitation program before release. In April 2024, the Supreme Court upheld the sentence, rejecting Toys' appeal. Once celebrated as the first Western mid laner to carry a team to a Worlds title and later a respected coach, Toys' downfall underscores Taiwan's zero-tolerance drug policy. Even esports icons face the full weight of the law. 32 players banned. In March 2024, the Vietnam Championship Series Spring Split was abruptly halted. First postponed on March 15th, then suspended indefinitely on March 18th, after Riot Games launched an integrity probe into widespread match fixing. Riot summoned all 8 VCS teams, Team Secret, GAM Esports, Team Wales, Vikings Esports, Cerberus, MG and Blue, Team Flash, Rainbow Warriors, to the VCS studio, interviewing players and coaches one-on-one and asking them to circle suspects on a roster sheet. By March 28th, organizers had suspended 32 players and staff, ranging from mid laners like Blazes and Jane to supports like Puddin and Kyrie, from all Riot-sanctioned events. The scandal forced the playoffs format to shrink from 6 to 4 teams, with emergency roster changes allowed for those slots emptied by suspensions. The investigation, still ongoing, underscores the VCS's vulnerability to unethical gambling practices and has left the region's competitive integrity in limbo. Match fixing. In early 2014, former AHQ Korea ADC Cheon Promise Minki ignited one of the darkest chapters in competitive league history by exposing a match-fixing scheme orchestrated by his manager, No Dae Chul. Promise revealed that the team was instructed to intentionally lose matches, specifically 2-1 defeats to CJ Entus Frost and KT Rolster Bullets. so the manager could profit from illegal bets. Overwhelmed by guilt and betrayal, Promise attempted suicide by leaping from a 12-story building on March 12, 2014, landing on a recycling center roof where he was rescued in critical condition. His near-fatal jump followed a detailed post he made on Reddit, accusing AHQ Korea of false sponsorship claims and systematic match throwing. Although he survived and underwent surgery, Promise's ordeal prompted KESPA and Riot Games to launch a full integrity investigation, leading to the permanent banning of several players and staff involved in the scandal. Peeping Tom. In Game 1 of the 2013 World Championship quarterfinals between Azubu Frost and TSM, Frost support Wung was caught repeatedly glancing at the offstage minimap monitors, explicitly banned under Riot's Season 2 official rules, to track TSM's movements and adjust his level 1 pings and lane brush checks accordingly. Community uproar led Riot to convene a tournament director panel, which reviewed intent, severity, and tangible impact. Although they acknowledged Wung's actions influence in-game decisions, Riot concluded it did not decisively determine the match outcome. Rather than a forfeit or disqualification, Riot applied a technical foul, levying a 20% fine on Frost's resultant winnings, roughly $50,000 of their $250,000 semifinal prize, and donating proceeds to charity. Riot likened it to an offsides penalty in traditional sports. The infraction merited punishment, but play continued. Following the ruling, Riot relocated spectator screens out of view and tightened monitoring protocols to safeguard competitive integrity. Griffin Abuse. In late 2019, Riot Korea's investigation into Griffin coach Kim CVMAX Daeho exposed a pattern of verbal and physical abuse that led to his indefinite ban from all Riot-sanctioned events. Former players Choi Sword Sungwon, Lee Tarzan, Hyung Hyung Seop, and assistant coach Byun Chaos, Young Sub, testified to multiple incidents. CVMAX slamming his hand on chairs during feedback sessions, hurling sticky notes at players, and hurling insults such as, "You play like a one-armed man," at Sword. Coach Chaos recalled witnessing CVMAX pinching and grabbing players by the collar, while Sword described being berated and physically shaken when underperforming. Riot's disciplinary panel weighed the severity, frequency, and documented impact of these actions, and, citing both witness statements and corroborating evidence, ruled that CVMAX's conduct violated competitive integrity and player welfare standards. His subsequent removal from Griffin and KESPA's suspension underscored a watershed moment. Top-level esports organizations would no longer tolerate abusive locker room cultures. Domestic abuse. On October 27, 2017, Riot suspended Lee Vasily Wei-jun for audible threats of physical violence against his girlfriend during a personal stream on October 26. Riot's deeper investigation, interviewing both parties remotely and in person, found no proof of physical assault, but confirmed Vasily's credible threats and death wishes toward a defenseless person in her home, an act deemed particularly egregious under the Global Penalty Index's extreme misconduct category. Given the aggravating circumstances and Vasily's prior onstage aggression, including smashing a keyboard and intimidating a camera operator, Riot extended his ban well beyond the standard 10 months for player-on-player misconduct. Vasily received a 20-competitive-month suspension, effective through the end of 2019, barring him until Split 1, January 2020. In tandem, Riot updated the Global Penalty Index to allow indefinite bans for the most severe abuses, ensuring that future domestic violence threats and similar violations are met with appropriately harsh penalties.